Uh, without asking any details, without getting into details, he said, okay, go ahead. But remember, what you want to do is something that is going to be the most difficult thing you do in your life. And you will find resistance of all sorts from all those. You'll find biggest resistance. But he said the only way you will be able to move forward is you need to become a deet in Kichwagumu. You need to become a Kichwangumu. That's the only way you'll be able to move forward. But at the same time, in his way of encouragement, the last few days when he was in hospital, the night, I think one or the second night before I flew out to Pakistan to be appointed as the vice president of IMO, he was in hospital. And the last question he asked me before he died, or the last conversation I had with him was, I hope we are on track. These are two people, just like me and Shamir, who share the same surname, but have no blood relation. They're not from the same community, and they never met each other in life. Second person, Muhammad Jamil, is my late uncle, my dad's elder brother, who again did not get into the details of what the vision is what is not. But the last conversation I had with him before he died, I remember I was in Mumbai. He was undergoing chemo in UK. And he told me, Shahid, we have been discussing so many things. He's saying, for this vision, every animal has its characteristic. Sometimes in life you have to be as sly as a fox. You have to be as fierce as a lion. But he said, for this, you need to be an eagle. As you're flying on a certain altitude, crows will come to peck you down. But you can't stop to fight each and every crow. All you need to do is fly high. Continue flying high. Until you reach a certain altitude where the crows themselves cannot breathe in that altitude and they will fall off themselves. And you will then join your fellow eagles to fly ahead now. Honestly, I never understood that until tonight. We have reached a stage with this vision where I am now flying with my fellow eagles, government leaders, community leaders, all community leaders, business leaders. Today I understand the wisdom behind what they said. But Alhamdulillah, we are here today. And I want to honor this vision in their memory. In the memory of Marhum Rahmatullah Umar Yaqub and Marhum Muhammad Jamil Ahmad Yaqub. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them maghfirah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the ajr of this vision. Ameen. So Vision 100 is, the question must be arising, why do we need this Vision 100? If the principles are the same, if it is what our forefathers have been doing, if it is what communities are still doing, I mean, communities are doing their work. They're doing wonderful work. So why do we need this vision? And what is this vision all about? Problem is, we have been interacting with several communities, with Bimal Bhai under United Asian Network, with the Sikh community, with so many other communities. We have been interacting and trying to, get feedback about this vision. But something over time, through these conversations, became very clear that yes, our communities have been doing very well, but we have reached a stage of being reactive rather than proactive. So let me tell you a little bit about the Memon community. You know, in the year 18 or early 1920s, when India was seeking freedom from the colonizers, Mahatma Gandhi was out going to seek fundraising for his freedom movement. And the first person who gave him a blank check, go fill the amount and fight for freedom, was a Memon, a Kachi Memon. In 1947, when India and Pakistan was undergoing partition, a Memon stood up and gave Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, a blank check that here is the money, go and build the country. Aziz Memon, you can attest to that. That was in the past. In the 1980s, the first deputy president of Mauritius is also a Memon. And today, anywhere you go in the world, you will find a Memon, either in business or in philanthropy or both. And there are some books that are in circulation. You will see on the tables, you will see what work the Memons have done here in Kenya. I mean, at a community event, to have representation from around 12 government officials in a non-state event, a non-government event, community event, that is also something only a Memon can pull off. But I'm not telling you this to gloat or boast about the Memon community. I can see your faces, including my own Memon community members, surprised on some of these things that you didn't know about. And the reason is that, yes, our communities have been doing fantastic work, but we have been often doing that work in isolation. Yes, we have been generous, but without structure. Yes, we have been active, but not always aligned on a shared and long-term horizon. We have been working in community-based silos, and now it is time for us to come out of those silos, get together on a bigger and better, or not bigger and not better, but something bigger beyond ourselves. And this is, I'm not criticizing the communities that are working. I'm not criticizing how our forefathers worked in the past, but it's about acknowledging the changing realities in life. You see, the world that our forefathers navigated is not the world that our children will inherit. The principles will remain timeless, but the challenges are different. The pace is faster and the stakes are higher. So Vision 100 was born from a simple realization that if we do not intentionally shape our legacy, time will shape it for us. And unfortunately or fortunately, that shape may not be the one that we have chosen for ourselves or for our coming generations. So Vision 100 is not about custodianship or ownership. This vision does not belong to one person. It doesn't belong to Shahid Yaqub. It doesn't belong to Shamir Yaqub. It doesn't belong to IMO. This vision belongs to all of us, because we will go through the pillars in a while, and you will come to realize that it's not about the Memon community, the Shah community, the Sikh community. You will see even the Luya community, the Somali community, the Maasai community that is present here. You will see there are certain principles that are, it's the common denominator in all communities. So if we have, common denominator, then why don't we get together and pool our resources without hurting the identity or dignity or sovereignty of the existing communities? So this vision is from legacy to responsibility. Yes, we have the principles. Our forefathers formed the legacy. Now it is our responsibility. We are the torchbearers. We are the ones who are taking the baton to the next generation. And that is what this vision is about. If we do not set principles of what we want to see for the next 100 years, we will continue allowing our children and grandchildren to inherit reactive measures instead of being proactive and structured to face all the other communities that we have seen. And Mheshimiwa, you have seen that we have so many community-based, the Aga Khan community, the Jaffrey community. So it came to make us realize and understand that these are principles that are common with all other communities. Why should we form a vision and keep it within ourselves? So we may be forming a 100-year vision, but we are still working in isolation of the Memon community. And that is why today we have carefully selected all community leaders that we could get across and who could come here, government leaders, and not only communities, but organizations like the National Prayer Breakfast is here. We have SUPKEM that is present here, NAMLEF. These are other organizations that are not necessarily community-based. Let's see this video that is going to explain to us what the principles of the Vision 100 are.
But for the next 100 years, a future built on 8 pillars to shape a stronger community. And now, a highlight of these pillars: housing. A home is more than just walls of concrete. It is where children feel safe and where dignity lives. Yet, within our community, families live with uncertainty. We believe that no one should live with that fear, and therefore we take up create sustainable housing solutions, not temporary fixes. Replace shame with support and uncertainty with stability. Our promise: a roof over every head, because every member deserves a place to call home. Education. Education dares to dream, the second chance for an adult to learn. No one should ever feel left behind because of money, age, or circumstance. We are therefore committed to making education accessible, inclusive, and lifelong, supporting children whose dreams are bigger than their means. Our promise: a community where no one is deprived of education for any reason, at any stage of life. Independence and self-resilience. We were taught to stand on our own feet, to work with dignity. But life can weaken even the strongest among us. This pillar is not about judgment, it is about restoring strength. We therefore focus on empowerment, not dependency. Supporting businesses, skills, and entrepreneurship, creating opportunities, mentoring youth and professionals. Our promise: to build a community that lifts itself with pride and dignity and gives back with grace. Universal well-being. Illness should never come with loneliness. Pain should never come with fear of cost. And no one should ever suffer in silence. Health is not a luxury, it is a right. We therefore work to ensure access to affordable health care, support during medical emergencies, compassionate care for the vulnerable and elderly. Our promise: ensuring every member has access to good, affordable health care. Culture, language, and heritage. If we forget our roots, we lose our way. Our language, traditions, and stories are not old, they are timeless and must be preserved. We therefore take responsibility to document and protect our culture and language, Teach the next generation with pride, not nostalgia. Preserve our stories, values, and identity. Our promise that our children will know where they come from and be proud of it. Sustainability and responsibility. What we protect today, our children will inherit tomorrow. We are therefore committed to thoughtful use of resources, responsible planning and spending, teaching responsibility as a value, not a rule. Our promise to leave behind a future that is safer, cleaner, and caring. Community outreach. We are strongest when we stand together. Division weakens, unity multiplies. We therefore strive to strengthen bonds by reaching out within and beyond, supporting humanitarian and social causes, building bridges, not walls. Our promise, a community known not only for success, but for service, mental and emotional wellness. Some struggles are invisible. Some pain is silent. Some people smile while breaking inside. Mental and emotional well-being matters deeply. We are therefore committed to encouraging open conversations, reducing stigma and fear, training leaders to listen, not judge. Our promise to build a foundation of understanding and support so no member feels alone, lost, or unheard. Our commitment. Vision 100 is for generations to come. It is our responsibility, our prayer, our legacy. The International Memon organization proudly welcomes you to the launch of its flagship initiative, the Vision 100, a future built with heart, purpose, and unity.
A brief outline of what the 8 pillars of the vision are. Slide, please. I just want to highlight and make you understand what it is that we mean here. It's not showing. You see the brown, brownish, bottomish. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here. Okay. This part here at the bottom. This is the foundation that our forefathers laid for us. A foundation that was built on honesty and sincerity. It is on this foundation that we want to now erect these 8 pillars. The vision is a roof over every head. Meaning, as far as IMO is concerned, as far as the Memon community is concerned, in 100 years, we would like that every Memon or no Memon should live without a roof over their head. And that is something communities have been doing. You have been building houses and donating houses. But the vision is not about donating houses. The vision is about giving individuals opportunity to own their own house with dignity. This whole vision and IMO's objective is to elevate members of our community using this vision and remove that welfare dependency on communities. Is to elevate communities and empower current and next generations so that the welfare dependency that we have so comfortably sat on is elevated. And when you look at all these visions and how it has been explained, it's not that each vision or each pillar is an independent pillar on its own. You will see that there is an interconnection, that without one, The other one is not possible without the other. The third one is not possible. There's an interconnection. Therefore, this Vision 100 is not about a single pillar. It is about all these 8 pillars. And for our communities and our committees and our generations to come to work on these 8 pillars collectively to now complete this Vision 100 that is at the top here. Ladies and gentlemen, respected elders, distinguished guests, community leaders, and friends, I'm about to come to the close of this presentation. I don't want to, I need to cut it short because of the time that we have. But I want us to pause for a moment and reflect about what we have heard here today. Whatever we have mentioned here, whatever you have seen, is not a simple list of projects. This is not just something we are saying that we need to do this project or this project. It's not an ambitious seek for attention, neither is it any sort of a fundraising pitch, and it's not a short-term plan at all. What we are trying to bring out to you, to all the communities, to our community members, and to all the communities that are present here, to all the communities who are watching this live from any corner of the world that you are, what we are bringing forward to you is that Vision 100 is not a simple plan. It is about a mind shift. It's about a mindset shift. It's about the paradigm shift that we should have adopted in our communities, not today, but yesterday. Vision 100 asks us one but very uncomfortable question. Are we building for convenience or are we building for continuity? And the unfortunate question that if I ask any one of you today is that currently we are building for convenience and not for continuity. I am a youth and I am speaking as a youth. This is what we can see. And this is what we want to bring out as youths on how we can change this mindset of convenience into continuity, change the mindset of today to tomorrow. We have for far too long sat in our comfort zones. We need to take the risks and sacrifices that our forefathers took. Look, I wouldn't be standing in front of you here today if one man didn't take the risk in the year 1830, who didn't have that luxury of transport and travel, who didn't know in which jungle he's coming into. We wouldn't be standing here today as a community. That was the risks and sacrifices that our forefathers took. What is it that we are doing today so that 100 years down the line, someone would stand here and say, you know, Bimal Kantaria did something that today we are inheriting. The way I'm proud to say, someone did something that today I'm sitting in my comfort zone. What is it that our children are going to say? Are they going to say that, you know, our forefathers had the opportunity, they had the resources, but they couldn't think beyond themselves? Are you ready to answer that question when you will be asked, why couldn't you think beyond yourself? Why couldn't you think beyond your comfort zone? Why couldn't you think about the coming generations, about the continuity of the coming generations and not the convenience of your comfort and luxury? This is, if you have an answer to that question, no problem. But I believe none of us here have the answer to that question. And the answer to that question is what we are launching to you today. It is the Vision 100. Vision 100 has been launched by the Memon community. It is rooted in the Memon community, yes. But its principles are not exclusive. Housing with dignity, education, empowerment, accessible healthcare, cultural confidence, environmental responsibility, community collaboration, mental and emotional strength. These are not issues that the Memon community is facing. These are not Memon issues. These are not Memon things that we need to take care for. These are human issues. Every family, every community, not in Kenya, all over the world, these are common issues that are being faced by various communities all over the world. So we have chosen to articulate this vision openly because we believe that when strong communities come together, we build strong nations. So as the East African chapter, we have launched this vision, and we are inviting all of you, all the East African communities, government officials, organizations, that this is the vision. As Memons, we are going ahead. We are doing it. We have launched it. We will do it for our community. But we are inviting all of you to come ahead. Let's work together. Let's collaborate together. You see, when communities take responsibilities for housing of their community members, governments are able to breathe easier. And that is why we have invited government here, for you to understand what is it that we are planning to do, so that we can collaborate together and work. We can help you and you can help us. That is how it is. It's a win-win situation. When communities invest in education, economies grow faster because the literacy rate has increased. When communities reduce dependency, welfare systems tend to stabilize. And I'm not talking about welfare systems of communities alone, but welfare systems of governments are able to be stabilized. And when communities care for mental health, societies become more safer and productive. Our generations tend to become more productive because you have been able to take care of mental uh, uh, health and emotional health. And it is clear that, and the reason why we put that up as a pillar, we could have easily put it up under universal well-being. The reason why we took this up as an independent pillar is that in our communities, discussing and talking about mental and emotional well-being is a taboo. It has become a stigma, and it is destroying generations. It has already started destroying a generation, partly. If we don't work on it, then coming generations will not be able to face the challenges of that generation, of their times. So this vision is not about a competition with any other community or with the government. It's about bringing forward partnership with purpose. I want to request and say this very clearly, and that to all the leaders and officials who are present here today. Vision 100 and this launch is not about asking you for permission. We are going ahead and doing it, but we are seeking collaboration. We are opening our arms to all of you for collaboration. If you see that there are certain elements in this framework that that align with some of your community or organizational policies, then adopt them. And if you feel that there's something in this that can be improved, then refine them. And if there's something that needs to be scaled, then you can either upscale it or downscale it. That is up to you. Because progress does not belong to just one community. It belongs to everyone who is willing to think long term. And to my own community who is present here today, I say this with humility but firmness, that Vision 100 will not succeed because it had a grand launch, but it will only succeed if we live it daily in our lives, in our hearts. This vision does not belong to me. It does not belong to our board. It does not belong to IMO, or it does not belong to our current generation. This vision belongs to every parent who wants better for their children. This vision belongs to every young person who wants opportunity without losing identity. It belongs to every professional who is willing to give time and not just advice. And it belongs to every elder who is willing to guide us without controlling. So let me end with this thought tonight. 100 years from now, I know myself and none of us will be there, but the outcomes of our decisions will be there. Our children will either say that those guys, they planned well, they did their best, and we benefited from it. The way we are saying today that those guys planned well, they did their best, and we have benefited from it. 100 years down the line, our children, our generations will say that, or they will ask a question for which I'm sure none of you have an answer. They had the chance, they had the resources, they had everything with them, but why couldn't they just think beyond themselves? So Vision 100 is the answer to that future question. It is our commitment to dignity over dependency, systems over slogans, and legacy over applause. May we have the wisdom to carry it forward, the discipline to protect it, and the unity to make it real. وآخر الدعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك في جهودكم وجعل ذلك في ميزان حسناتكم وأحسن الجزاء في الدنيا والآخرة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Jazakallah. Thank you, Shahid. Thank you for taking us through the vision and the highlight of what IMO has already worked on so far and what is still ongoing. Well, efforts are underway to make this vision a reality. Having launched the vision, we have already made history today. Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of contribution that defines the International Memon Organization, I sought to offer a personal contribution from myself to Vision 100 as a means of motivating, inspiring, and uniting our community. This is basically a soundtrack that was composed and arranged by myself to reflect the values, responsibilities, and long-term vision that Vision 100 represents. With, of course, having you to endorse this, I would like to carry on. Thank you. It is my honor to present to you this piece today with the involvement, of course, of Brother Shahid and Shamir Bhai, whose leadership and guidance continue to shape the vision. With their endorsement, I humbly launched this composition as the IMO Vision 100 anthem, intended to serve as the official soundtrack of the vision going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to listen and reflect on the spirit of Vision 100.
We gather here with stories in our eyes, footsteps of elders still guiding our way. Dreams once whispered under humble skies now rise as hope for a brighter day.
We are not here by chance or by time, but by prayers that carried us through. Every sacrifice, every silent climb led us to this moment with you.
Beyond today, we stand as one, with roots held deep, yet eyes on the sun. For every child, for years unseen, we begin the journey, Vision 100.
Hands joined across the halls of time, building dreams on foundations strong.
Voices
voices rising in a steadfast rhyme, guiding hearts to where they belong. Beyond today, we stand as one, with roots held deep, yet eyes on the sun. For every child, for years unseen, we begin the journey, Vision 100. Knowledge, compassion, a world to share. Every step shaping who will be.
Lessons learned with wisdom read, lighting paths for all to see.
Beyond today, we stand as one, with roots held deep, yet eyes on the sun. For every child, for years unseen, we begin the journey, Vision 100.
From every home, every corner near, stories blend to form one song. Echoes of courage we hold dear. Together we know we belong. Through storms and shadows we hold tight, our vision shining like morning light. Bound by hope, by love, by care, 100 years a legacy we bear.
खुशामदीद दोस्तों यहाँ एक साथ मनाए ये नया रास्ता, दिल से मिलके सपने साथ लेकर। ये है विजन 100 का सफर। We rise together, hearts held together. Through every challenge we touch the sky. For every dream, for every hand, this is our promise, Vision 100.
The Deputy President of the International Memon global role, Mr. Shamir Yaqub carries the immense responsibility of aligning diverse regions, cultures, and perspectives into one unified vision. His leadership has been instrumental in strengthening governance structures, promoting ethical leadership, and ensuring that the values of IMO are consistently upheld across all chapters worldwide. He is a firm believer that unity is not achieved by uniformity, but by shared purpose. His approach to leadership emphasizes collaboration, consultation, and continuity, ensuring that decisions made today remain relevant and responsible for generations to come. As IMO embarks on the journey of Vision 100, it is leaders like Mr. Shamir Yaqub who ensure that this vision is not merely aspirational, but actionable. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Shamir Yaqub.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Cabinet Secretary for Health, respected Chief Guest, Mr. Aziz Memon, all other protocols observed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is truly an honor to stand before this distinguished and beautifully diverse assembly this evening. I must say, when I saw the guest list, I realized the only thing we were missing is a referee. Because with so many leaders in one room, I'm not sure who is in charge of keeping time. While the International Memon Organization has the privilege of hosting tonight, we are deeply grateful that you, our friends, our partners, neighbors from across Kenya's vibrant communities and many international guests are here with us. It is a powerful reminder that our futures, though rooted in unique traditions, are interconnected. Much like our Wi-Fi networks tonight, hopefully strong and without password issues, inshallah. Memons, if I may say, have perfected the art of turning any gathering, no matter how serious the agenda, into a top-tier culinary event. The starters here are a diplomatic triumph. I hope you agree with me. Tonight, I feel a profound sense of pride and possibility. Pride in the Memon journey and possibility in what we can all learn from one another. I am particularly moved by what our team here in East Africa has conceived, not just for themselves, but as a model that speaks to a universal challenge. They have basically looked at the future and decided to send it a detailed 100-year agenda. Meanwhile, some of us are still trying to figure out what we're going to do next week. For years, community organizations worldwide, including our own IMO chapters, have focused on commendable service and survival. But the team here has asked more radical, more necessary questions. One that every community leader in this room will recognize. Where are we going? Not next year, but for the next 100 years. How do we build a legacy that outlives all of us? That is the question that keeps leaders awake at night. It is easier to plan a dinner for 300 people than to plan 100 years. It requires looking past short-term projects, past personalities, and past the comfort of how we always done it. It is a community equivalent of not just taking or just asking what's for lunch, but what will our grandchildren have for lunch, and will they be able to afford it? Under the leadership of my brother, who I value very dearly and I love deeply, my brother Shahid. Where is Shahid? Under the leadership of Shahid Yaqub and his team, this chapter has dared to answer that question with a framework they call Vision 100. What has inspired us at the global level is its architecture. The Vision 100 is not a Memon manifesto. It's not an internal document. It's a blueprint for sustainable community development. It takes timeless values, service, education, dignity, preservation of culture, and translates them for a modern, uncertain world. It is leadership built on foresight, humility, and a deep sense of collective trusteeship. Or as my mother calls it, finally, thinking ahead instead of last minute. Tonight, we are not just celebrating a Memon achievement. we are showcasing an idea with an open source potential. And I repeat, open source potential. Think of it as an ultimate community app. No download required, just shared wisdom. Therefore, in the spirit of shared learning, I wish to invite all of us here, leaders from every community, every organization, and even the government, to consider these principles. But first, to make this vision official in this house, and I suggest we do it Bunge style. You know, we have a lot of politicians here, so Bunge style is where all our members and well-wishers who are in favor of endorsing this vision as our guiding framework, please signify with a very loud yay. Say, that was not loud enough. Yay. Yeah. Anybody opposed? All opposed? Nays? Any nays? Thank you. Alhamdulillah, the motion is carried unanimously. Alhamdulillah, Mabruk. But the vision's true test is not in our adoption, but it's the wider resonance, the principles within the vision. Investing in education is empowerment, building systems over spectacles, ensuring dignity through healthcare and housing, safeguarding cultural heritage while embracing innovation. They are not Memon concepts, they are human imperatives. They are pillars upon which any resilient community from any background can secure its future. It's basically the universal recipe for a community that lasts longer than a trending hashtag. What has been created is something that can be adopted, contextualized, and embraced by any community that wishes to move from incremental planning to generational transformation. You don't have to be Memon to want a better future. You just have to be human. And some will argue, maybe you also need a good accountant. This brings me to the most tangible expression of this philosophy, one that benefits the whole society, education. And I will speak about the Nairobi Academy. The Nairobi Academy is a rising physical heartbeat of this vision. We are blessed tonight to be at the brink of a milestone. The Nairobi Academy is no longer, the Nairobi Memon Academy is no longer a dream on paper. But let me be clear, while it carries our name, its mission is universal. It's being built to be a center of excellence, discipline, and holistic learning. It will educate our children who will become professionals, neighbors, citizens, leaders who will shape our entire nation's tomorrow. They will learn math, science, history, and the critical life skill of explaining to their grandparents what a metaverse is. It is also will be there to inculcate values, because passing on our values is more than just passing the secret recipe of the best biryani. Although, let's be honest, we'll need to do that too. The heavy lifting at the Nairobi Memon Academy has been done. The foundation is set. Now we are at the final collective phase, the phase I would call the community equivalent of the 10% of the group or project, which somehow requires 90% of our effort. So tonight I extend an invitation to every single person in this room, from every community. If the idea of the Vision 100 inspires you, if you believe in transformative society building through power of education, if you want your legacy to be part of an institution that will uplift generations, your phone is your tool. If you get your phone, and in that small gift bag that you all got as you came in, we have a small flyer which has QR codes. You'll find those QR codes. Please, if you could scan those codes. These codes will connect you directly and securely to the Nairobi Memon Academy Project Fund. You need just to scan, give, and build. In 1 minute, through M-Pesa, credit card, mobile banking, you can invest in a future that transcends any single community. This is an opportunity to contribute to an institution of excellence that will serve our shared society. Every contribution from every background is a statement of faith in our collective future. And for those wondering, yes, the system does accept. I promised, and I do, as a payment note. Abdurrahim? Abdurrahim, can we see on the dashboard if the numbers? Like. So please, contribute generously. I will conclude by thanking the East Africa chapter for the visionary work, which they have generously offered a gift to the wider discourse of the community development. To Shahid and his team, you have not just led a community, but you have sparked a conversation and possibly raised the bar so high, the rest of us are now nervously checking on our own 5-year plans. To all our distinguished guests from all communities, thank you all for your fellowship. May this evening be the start of a rich exchange of ideas on how we can build our legacies with purpose and foresight, and perhaps a future inter-community potluck. I promise to bring the samosas. Finally, I pray, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this vision and all who contribute to it. May He accept every act of support as lasting charity, which we call Sadaqah Jariyah. And may He grant all our communities, yours and mine, wisdom and unity, courage to build on the next century filled with prosperity, dignity, and mutual respect. Thank you all. Jazakallah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Shamir. Now, that we have of our Vice President, Shahid Yaqub. With this, we now officially launch the Vision 100.
Jazakallah khair.
Invite our chief guest, the Honorable. Before I go there, I would like to invite our Cabinet Secretary of Health, Honorable Adan Duale, to come and address us, please. Mheshimiwa.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and my boss, the entire leadership of the IMO, both global and East Africa, community leaders, members of parliament, my two colleagues who I have worked with many years, Your Excellency, if you allow me, Honorable Abdul Dawood of Imenti North, and our ranking member of parliament for Kisumu West. Am I right? Kisumu East, Honorable Shakil Shabir. I'm also seeing a former member of parliament, Brother is there, community elders, scholars, business community, distinguished members of the Memon community, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I'll be very brief, and I'll limit myself to the health pillar, because I am going to speak on health. So I don't want to speak on the other pillars. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, our leader, will do that. But I want to thank the leadership of IMO East Africa under the stewardship of Brother Shahid Yaqub for convening this forward-looking Vision 100 dialogue. And I want to acknowledge the long and the distinguished role of the Memon community in Kenya's history, your contribution to healthcare, to enterprise, to philanthropy, to social cohesion, are deeply woven into our country's progressive history. We are stronger together because of your organized, value-driven community. And this gathering is timely, is thoughtful and it is purposefully. It speaks not only to the ambition, but to a very focused leadership and responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, our Prime Cabinet Secretary, let me begin with a very simple but fundamental truth that health is the foundation of all our development. Without health, education outcomes will decline because sick children cannot learn. Productivity collapses because unhealthy adults cannot go to work. Poverty deepens because illness pushes families into debt. And families disintegrate because health shocks break our social resilience. Therefore, healthcare is not only about hospitals and medicines. It's about prevention, it's about access, it's about affordability, dignity, and protection from the financial ruin that we see every day. And let me say it clearly that no vision for education, housing, or economic growth can succeed if health is weak. Every serious nation or community must place health as its core. And it is for this reason that I commend Vision 100 for recognizing healthcare not as an afterthought, but as a foundational pillar. And that's why in Kenya, healthcare or universal health coverage is a very, very important pillar of our government under the able leadership of President Ruto. So what resonates strongly with the Ministry of Health is your emphasis on preventive health care rather than crisis response, early screening for lifestyle and non-communicable diseases, mental and emotional well-being as part of holistic care, and protecting families from the catastrophic health expenditure is all anchored in our Taifa Care or universal health coverage. These priorities mirror what we now works. We need to organize our communities and invest in healthcare to reduce pressure over the overstretched public healthcare system. We must improve early detection of disease, leading to better healthcare outcomes. And let me emphasize on this principle that when communities organize, like we are doing tonight, when communities are responsible, when government systems become stronger, like our healthcare system, and not weaker, then community initiative like this one is not a competition, but is a complementary to government. Ladies and gentlemen, without making specific commitments today, I want to affirm that the direction of Vision 100 aligns with Kenya's national health care strategy. Our reforms are anchored on the universal health coverage, ensuring that no Kenyan is left behind through investment in primary healthcare system. The government alone cannot carry this burden. Sustainable healthcare systems are built on shared responsibility. Healthcare works best when government, policy, and community responsibility move in the same direction. And this is where structured accountability, community initiative add lasting value. So what is particularly powerful about Vision 100 is that it treats development as an integrated system, not isolated silos. And in closing, let me once again congratulate IMO East Africa and its leadership for the Vision 100 initiative. The Ministry of Health remains open to a continued dialogue and collaboration with the organized, principled, and forward-looking community institutions like we have seen tonight. And we value partnerships that are grounded in responsibility. We value partnerships that are sustainable. And we value partnership that aligns to national interests. Let us all remember, A healthy community is the backbone of a very strong nation, and a vision like this will help us move closer to that goal together. I wish Vision 100 all the very success, and I want to thank you for your commitment to the future of our country and the future of Kenya. May Allah bless our efforts and our nation. Asanteni sana. Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, when I was invited to this function, I was wondering how to write my speech. Because in the Ministry of Health, we have divisions and directorates. So there are people who are in charge of preventive medicine, there are people who are in charge of health financing, there are people who are in charge of equipment, there are people who are in charge of many things. And so when I told them I'm going to address a very progressive community, this community is very progressive. They are progressive in business, they are progressive in social and community engagement, and they are progressive in spiritual and faith. I want to confirm to that as a Muslim leader in this country. And they're very good in education, the Memon schools. I lived in Mombasa part of my life before I joined politics. So this evening, I really want to thank you because despite your busy schedule, you spared some time. You know me very well that I usually pray on my way home. I'm in my house at 7 o'clock. So I usually pray my Maghrib prayers in Parklands Masjid or Pangani. So tonight, why I stayed all this long is one, because my boss is here. So I didn't want to go into problems. Secondly, I'm here because this is a very important part of our community as Muslim leaders in our country. And more so, they are very transformative leaders, and you can attest to the two members of parliament who are ranking members, Honorable Dawoodi and Honorable Shakil. And we really want to thank you. They are part of our healthcare system. They support us in education. And just before I invite you, you know, good people, most of you are business people. And why some leaders have a problem with President Ruto is because of legacy issues. Because in 3 years, he has set a legacy transformation projects in our country. In 3 years, as of last night, 29 million Kenyans have registered with the Social Health Authority. As of today, every city and every town in Kenya, we have got high-rise buildings, affordable housing. Because healthcare and housing is a constitutional imperative that the dignity of the citizens must be restored. So today, and members of parliament will agree with me, and you will agree with me, Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary, that Kenyans who were living in a room of 10 by 10 without water, without electricity, without proper sanitation, are today going to live in 2-3 bedroom houses with water, with electricity, with schools, with a playground, with a health facility. Today, for the first time in 30 years, we are building the biggest stadium, Talanta. It's ready. Today, if you go, please, when you go to the coast, just fly and see the kind of food security, the 2 million acres food security agriculture which is taking place. Today, our education model has changed. So there are leaders who are wondering how this president and vision can get the legacy in 3 years that they could not do it in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. And the perception of our country is changing. I was talking to our members of parliament. Today, our economy is changing. We were the first country to sign the health agreement with the US government in State Department. The first country. Today, a Kenyan can walk to Aga Khan Hospital and undergo a kidney transplant fully paid by the Social Health Authority without incurring a single extra shilling. And that Kenyan, he doesn't need to be the rich. Any Kenyan among the 29 million. Today, the most important dialysis patients who go under dialysis twice a week, they just need to walk to any level 6 hospital, both private, public, and government, and SHA will pay for it. Today, more than 90% of our mothers are delivering in healthcare facilities because they go and the maternity and the cesarean and normal delivery are paid for. And finally, good people, my colleagues, ministers of health in Africa, are calling me every day, telling me we want to come and learn how Kenya has implemented the universal health coverage. So there's good thing going on, and that is why tonight myself and my boss, we have come here because we have seen a community that has a vision just like the President Ruto has a vision in his government. This is how the vision of our administration is anchored. That's why the Prime Cabinet, the leader of the cabinet, after the president and the deputy president, is sitting here for all these hours. Because what we are doing and what you are doing as a community, the Memon community, and the vision and the leadership aligns. With those many remarks, now it's my duty and pleasure to invite my boss, my senior, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Okay, let me call our guest. Because they were sitting next to me, so I know I've checked his name tag, so I'll not have a problem. Let me call our elder, our global guest speaker, Mr. Aziz Memon, to come and say a few words before I invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary. May God bless him. We always pray for our elders. It reminds me of my dad.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you, the Chief Cabinet, or I can call you the Prime Minister. May I call you a Prime Minister? Okay, secretaries, ministers, dignitaries, I'm thankful to you, sir, for allowing me to speak, because I just have few points. I don't have any 20-minute video or anything to share. I just want to congratulate Shamir Yaqub and Shahid Yaqub for doing a great work, and they need a big round of applause. Yeah, very good, okay. I have my wife, Professor Samina, with me here. And yeah, please give her a round of applause here. She is the advisor to Memon Medical Institute, who are making a university in Karachi with a budget of $30 million. So, you can also take advantage. Sitting next to her is my gracious host, Geeta Manik, who has been trustee of Rotary Foundation. And when you are making a foundation, yesterday I arranged a meeting of hers with Shamir. She would be a great advice. Geeta, please stand and be recognized. My chief guest, I want to tell you that Memon's, starting from long time back, 7th, 8th century, are today all over the world. Whether they are in Kenya or Uganda, they are not into any sort of ill givings, and they have a passion for community service. They are benevolent. They are philanthropists. And we have a history of philanthropists, and I will just name one, Kammu Jafar Suleiman, who gave away everything he owned at the age of 32. So we have so many who have helped, and this 100-year vision is a doable. We have a history which shows that we can do and help. So please support the Memon community, and I would tell the leaders of our sitting here that they should try and more concentrate on primary health care and primary literacy. Nelson Mandela used to say that literacy is one organ which can change the destiny of this world. Nelson is not there today, but his words are ringing. So I just want to thank you, and I want to appreciate the host. I have come a long way on their invitation here, and will come again. And I will not now, can I welcome you here, the chief guest? Give him a round of applause. Dr. Musalia, please come, sir. I will welcome you.
Thank you, our chief honored guest, my brother, the Honorable Dwale. He's the only one that allows me to call him Sheikh. Shahid Yaqub, Shamir Yaqub, and your dear families who are also present here. My good friends from the political landscape, not repeat your names, but I know you're here. Members of the Memon International Organization, good evening. Hamjambo. Asante sana. I will be very brief. First, to say that this is the first interaction I'm having formally with the IMO. I've never had it before. I may have interacted with some of you individually under different circumstances, but not within this umbrella body. So thank you for allowing me to know that there is indeed an IMO. So for a moment, I started asking myself a couple of things, and I'll tell you why I was curious that I must come and understand. One, IMO. So I said, is this the International Maritime Organization? No, it's not. Is this the International Migration Organization? No, it is not. So let me understand, what is this institution? So that was one issue that generated curiosity. Then the second issue came, Vision 100. I said, hey, who are these people who are thinking 100 years ahead? We are used to Vision 2030, which is about to come to an end because we just have, I think, 7 years to go or less? 5 years now. 5 years to go, and there's a team that is thinking of Vision 100. Then I said, could it be an error? Because we also want to start again, to start thinking beyond Vision 2030. And the debate is it going to be Vision 2060? So that we shall, and even debates that are coming up internally, that should we call it Vision Kenya at 100 instead of Vision 2060? So what should we call the next phase of our vision? But here is a team that is already looking at Vision 100. So I wanted to know, who are these people? What is this vision? And I've asked Yakub there, is there something that I can also go and read after? And he said, yes, I'll read in more detail what is in this vision. So I will do so. But over and above that, our president has been talking lately, and Kenyans are having the debate because we are talking of the Singapore dream, the Singapore target, the Singapore vision. And people are throwing jokes and saying, what is all this about? We will never become like Singapore. We will never do what? But if you are thinking of Vision 100, and you have narrated that in 1830, there's somebody who had a vision, and we are here, then it is clear if Kenyans can conceptualize, if you can conceptualize a Vision 100, then it is possible that you can have a Singapore target and surpass that target. And if I may just take an extra minute to say something about Singapore, because my brother, when I was at the Treasury, we also had interaction with Singapore. And this was how we can make the port of Mombasa more efficient, make it a world-class port. And the government of Kenya then said that it is important for you to benchmark with the best. And one of the best operators logistically, globally, is the ports of Singapore. So I was leading a delegation to go and bring interaction with the port of Singapore. But believe you me, the people who are criticizing today about the vision of Singapore actually existed even at that time. Because there was war. That why is Kenya talking to Singaporeans to improve their port? we were supposed to even sign an MOU so that the Kenyan port of Mombasa can work with the port of Singapore on a strategy of modernization, improvement, and efficiency. Believe it or not, Kenyans chased away the Singaporeans. It's about 30 years ago. They chased away the Singaporeans and they said, we don't want this. Here we are again, over 30 years later, still saying, you don't want to work and benchmark with better standards. I am glad in this room, I am addressing a community that has a different alternative, that is talking about Vision 100, a vision beyond Singapore. So we have to work towards it. We have to get together. We have to pull in ideas. We have to dream. And then we have to figure out how to make those dreams a reality. And to do that, we have to plan. I confess I've not read the detailed vision because we look at it in. But one thing that, and maybe this will be my last remark and then I can step off the podium. The one thing that we have to contend with, a new variable, a variable that cuts across all these 8 pillars here. And maybe you have addressed it in the detailed report or somehow. But the new variable is technology, artificial intelligence. I don't know how it is addressed in the Vision 100, but we have now to figure out as a society, as a community, that this new variable has become so powerful, so strong, and we must always find out how its thread can be put through all these 8 pillars in a meaningful and purposeful way so that it can actually help us become better as humanity. So finally, I just want to echo what the Honorable Duale talked to. This vision is consistent with our transformative plan, the better plan. We have a lot of synergy with what your Vision 100 is. Let me also say that in all this, peace, security, and stability is paramount. It is paramount. We have all woken up to a new year, and we are seeing extremely volatile situations globally. Very, very volatile. The global order, the world order, the principles of the rule of law, they are being dismantled from virtually every corner. There is a real threat to humanity, to society, that we must look at critically, objectively, with a lot of sober conversations, because all this would come to naught, would come to zero, if we lose sight of the whole issue of peace, security, and stability in our respective communities, our respective societies, organizations, and countries. There's need for a lot of deep reflection as we go forward. So I think I end there and say that I'm happy to be part of this and to formally say that Vision 100 is launched for the IMO organization. And thank you for being bold and courageous to think that far. Thank you.
Okay. Hassan Olenado, kindly, if you can come on stage for a group photo. And the chairman of Nasupuria Memon Jamaat Nairobi, Ismail Ilyas. Ismail Ilyas, please come on stage for a group photo. And if my committee members can please come here, the office bearers, Basit Vayani, Imran Jin, and Abdurrahim Harunani. You have been a very strong pillar of this vision. So, Mheshimiwa, maybe you can now officially.
All right. Okay, so are we ready for the dramatic effect? Shall I do a countdown? From, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Vision 100.
Honorable Waziris to stay on stage. We have a small token of appreciation for you and our guest of honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe dinner is served. Serving is right at the back of the hall. Let's all please proceed towards the the back of the hall and serve dinner. Let's enjoy the dinner, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, dinner, everyone.
There, people are. Ladies and gentlemen, those seated, please, let's all proceed and have dinner. It's been a while. It's also quite late. We don't want to keep you waiting. Let's all enjoy the dinner, please.